Hello and welcome to Mindful Living, where we explore the art of living with the intention, balance, and inner peace. I am Avik, your host, guiding you through conversations on health, meditation, mental well being, mindfulness, and the mind body connection. Each episode features expert insights to help you grow, heal, and thrive. So, take a deep breath, relax, and join us on this journey to a more mindful and fulfilling life. So, let's get started.
Hello and welcome, listeners, to another episode of the Mindful Living podcast, where we dive into the conversations that inspire transformation and intentional living. I'm your host, Sana, and today we have a very special guest with us who has navigated the ups and downs of entrepreneurship, mindset, and personal growth. Aaron Perry is on a mission to help people cut through the noise of self improvement and find what truly works. He has built a thriving community, They Not Like Us, to empower individuals with real, actionable strategies for success. Aaron Parry's journey, like many of us, began with confusion, frustration, and a burning desire for freedom. And today on the Mindful Living, he'll share how he transformed those challenges into a movement and how we can do the same. So let's dive in. So, Aaron, welcome to the show, and it's an absolute honor to have you with us today.
Thank you for having me. It's a real pleasure to be here.
So, Aaron, you have been quite vocal about the struggles you faced early on in your entrepreneurial journey. What was that turning point or that moment that helped you shift from frustration and overwhelm to clarity and progress?
Well, my path hasn't always been smooth. Like many people, I've had moments where I felt lost in the noise, especially when it comes to sort of finding my way in business. So for years, I tried to start businesses, multiple businesses, but nothing seemed to take off. I couldn't make a single sale for a lot of those businesses, and I really, really struggled. That hit my confidence really hard as well. So I started feeling stuck, disillusioned, and honestly pretty defeated with the whole concept of entrepreneurship. But it was also during these tough times that I realized how important mental well-being and mindfulness are, especially when you're trying to build something meaningful. So I knew I had to change my mindset before I could get any sort of change in my circumstances or any sort of success. So, and that led me on a journey to not only rebuild my confidence, but to try and help others do the same. So that's what's kind of led me to where I am today. And, you know, my podcast, They Not Like Us, and the community around that is all aimed at helping people find that right mindset and, you know, become more mindful and build that well-being for themselves.
Great. That's really, really transformative, Aaron. And mindset is, of course, a core theme in your work, whether it's your podcasts or the community. How did you begin rewiring your own mindset? And what practical steps? Because it was not just a single day or maybe done in one day. It was a journey, a process. So, what practical steps you took and you would advise others as well to take to start making that shift?
Oh, you're right, and you know, it's a journey that I'm still on now. It's by no means am I at the finish line? Am I done with it? There's still work goes on daily, and that's just how it is with well-being and mindset. Essentially, you have to continue to work and to grow. For me, the biggest challenge was overcoming that internal voice, the one that told me I wasn't good enough or that I didn't have what it took to succeed. There were so many failures early on that I began to think that maybe, you know, I was chasing the wrong dream, and it kind of reinforced that voice a little. So I realized that the key wasn't working harder or trying new things over and over. It was to quiet my mind, understand my own value, and approach each day with intention, really. So it wasn't easy. I had to let go of the idea that success had to look a certain way or happen in a specific timeline, which a lot of us get kind of tripped up on. I embrace mindfulness, focusing on the present, managing stress, and slowly but surely that mindset shift allowed me to find clarity, really. So it wasn't about a business or a product. It was about creating something that could genuinely help others, but including myself. So I'm also helping myself through this journey. It's not just about helping other people.
Great.
So practically, I can go into some kind of more practical things if you like as well.
Sure.
So, I started practicing mindfulness daily, whether that was kind of taking 10 minutes to breathe and meditate, or writing down my thoughts, or simply learning to let go of things I can't control, which was difficult at the beginning. But, I had to be intentional with it and, take moments to be intentional and set time to really quieten my mind first and foremost before I could actually deal with what was in front of me, because my mind goes constantly, just doesn't stop. So I had to find ways to quieten that. Meditation really helps to take that step. I also find the gym really helps to just find that calm and that peace of mind. But different things seem to work for different people. A big part of it for me, and probably the biggest part of it, was talking about it and having like-minded people to talk about and to would actually sit and listen to me. So that's kind of what led me to my podcast, They Not Like Us, because I'm on a journey to find like-minded people and have these open, vulnerable discussions.
Great. And if you don't mind asking this, how did you come up with the name They Not Like Us? Is there any significance attached or any thought attached to this name around as well the idea of community? And how did connecting with others help you stay resilient? And why do you think it is so essential for personal growth?
Well, They Not Like Us is something me and a friend came up with because we were looking for like-minded people, and we really struggled, and the people around us didn't seem to have the same, or didn't present the same struggles, at least, and they weren't willing to be vulnerable and to share in the way that we were looking for, really. So that's where They Not Like Us come from, because we figured that we were probably the minority, and there'll be other people out there that feel the same. So we're trying to find people who can relate to that, where the people around them are not like us.
Great. That's really, really creative.
Yeah, so that's where the name came from, and part of it is part of the show. We talk openly about the pressures of trying to make things work, whether it's starting a business, pursuing a dream, relationships, and how mindfulness can help you with the clarity and stuff. But it all comes from vulnerability, really, and that ability to be vulnerable and stand out where everybody's wearing a mask and pretending to be something they're not. We're willing to put our hand up and say, actually, this is me, all my failures, all my flaws. This is who I am.
That's true. And in a world of full of, there are multiple self-improvement gurus. How can people differentiate authentic personal growth from the noise? And what should they look in for, genuine guidance?
I think it's important to start looking within rather than looking elsewhere. So on the show, I have lots of different people on the show, and we discuss lots of different strategies and tactics that people have used to do that. But ultimately, it's slightly different for everybody, and everybody has to find their own way. Now, that's not to say there's not things you can try or ways that are similar that people use. But mindfulness is key to mental resilience ultimately. So if you're in a difficult place, you need to start with mindfulness. You need to ground yourself in that present moment. Try and step away from the past, because that's already been. Don't worry about the future, and just try to be present in the current moment, and have that peace within yourself. There's ways to get there that are different for everybody, but that peace and that being in the present moment is key.
True. That's true. Lovely, Aaron. And Often people they get stuck from taking action, and the major reason is having that fear of failure. So, how did you overcome your own fears, and what advice do you have for those who are feeling stuck in self doubt or self limiting beliefs?
Yeah, it's important to embrace failure as part of the process and use it as a learning experience, because we all expect everything to be perfect all the time, and it can't be that way. That it never is, and it's not about. It's about not worrying about what we can't control, and
Mm-hmm.
try to focus on the things that we can control. Focus our energy on that stuff, because I come back to the mindfulness really. Once you are at peace with yourself and you're comfortable with yourself, that's when you won't actually care what other people think. And the failure issue is generally that people are afraid of what other people are going to think of them, not necessarily what they think of themselves. It's going to be what other people think of them.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to really work on that mindfulness, work on that calming that mind, so you can try and find out who you are, what you're all about, and have some trust and conviction in doing what you want to do. Stop listening to the outside voices and start doing what you want to do, what's going to make you happy. And ultimately, like you say, if you do something that makes you happy, you won't care if it fails, because you'll continue to do it anyway.
Definitely. And finally, before we wrap up, what does real success mean to you, Aaron? And how can people align their goals and mindset to achieve meaningful success in their own lives?
Now, my opinion on success has changed through my journey. So I always used to think success was having loads of money, being admired by loads of people, being rich, whatever it is, having all these materialistic things.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
I I think that couldn't be further from the truth, to be honest. No, after the journey I've been on and through the things I've been through in my life, I think, ultimately it's not about reaching a destination as fast as possible. It's about cultivating, the right mindset to enjoy the journey and enjoy the moment in life.
True.
And that's how I've shifted my perspective, and that's what I hope to share with people, because ultimately the moments are all we have. The past is already gone. The future could hold anything. We don't know what it's going to hold.
Yeah,
We only have the moments that we live in, and it's about making the most of those moments.
definitely. And what has been the most valuable lesson you have learned from, your uh, failures, and what strategies do you use to stay focused on your goals and continue moving forward even when things don't go as planned?
So there's lots of different ways that you can do it.
Uh-huh.
I've I've found that consistency for me has come with the mindfulness, with the quietening of my mind. It all seems to fall together when you do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I do have tough times even now, and I do have just tough days, tough moments. But you know what? I can just ground myself and balance myself. I can just take a few breaths, or I can take myself away and just take 5 minutes to just calm my mind. And from then on, I can just manage to push forward with no issues. And I think if people took that time to themselves, and it's really, really important that they do take that time to themselves. It's not selfish. It's important that you take that time. Because if you do, you will quieten your mind. You will have clarity then when you're approaching stuff that you're trying to do, and even though it's difficult, you will find a way to do it.
Hmm, that's true. And would you like to tell us about your podcast as well as community? They not like us. What takeaways can listeners take from your podcast, and how they can join a community?
So they not like us is available on all the podcasting platforms. Really, it's essentially I have it's an interview based show where I have guests on from all different walks of life. I've had doctors, I've had uh, lawyers, I've had former drug addicts, I've had everybody,
Mhm.
and it's all focused on their journeys and what they've discovered, and life lessons really from these people who have a wealth of experience in different areas and have struggled in lots of different ways.
Mhm.
Um, and it's just about being vulnerable. I'm very vulnerable on the show and very open about my life and my struggles, and they are as well. And I think it just brings a lot of value to people and it enables people to connect and to be vulnerable themselves and to find out who they are and begin their journey towards happiness and success, really.
Great, great. And finally, if our listeners want to connect with you as well and explore how you are helping with growth and self growth and personal development, how they can do that.
They can head over to the website, theynotlikeus.co.uk, and on that website there's links to the podcast and everything, all my social media and stuff. So if they wanted to connect, that's probably the best way.
Great, great. So we'll mention all the links in the show notes for our listeners. And thank you so much, Aaron, for first of all sharing your journey and then insights and the practical strategies with all of us today. And your journey, it's a powerful reminder that true success starts with mindset, and it is sustained by community and resilience as well. I think the best takeaway of this entire conversation can be talking with like-minded people, because they will understand what you are going through and they can help you with that. So I think this is the best piece of advice we can take away from this conversation. And for our listeners who want to dive deeper into Aaron's work and the They Not Like Us movement, definitely refer to the show notes along with this episode on your favorite podcast platform. And we hope, listeners, that today's episode has inspired you to take action, cut through the noise, and begin your own journey toward personal and financial freedom as well. So until next time, stay mindful and keep living with intention.